All right, Coach, you had a big opening Big 12 win the other day in Lubbock, Texas against Texas Tech. Your team, was on it from the very beginning. What did you like most about your team's performance in the win?
I thought it was the way we started the game. I thought we really came in focused. I thought our preparation was good for the game, and I thought our guys executed, well for the most part throughout that evening.
Coach, last year this team had some struggles on the road. The first game in the Big 12 on the road this year, you get the win. What does that do for the confidence going into the season, knowing that you can beat teams on the road?
Well, I think it really helps our guys. First seeing the atmospheres that we're going to face on a nightly basis. You have to remember, 11 new players, so they're trying to, find their way, and it's nothing like, playing in a Big 12 road game. And so I think for them to kind of experience that was good, and we'll grow from the experience. There are a lot of things that we learned, and I think we can even be better. It's just a function of, coming in practice, understanding what we're going to face every night.
Coach, you had to fend off a late game charge from the Red Raiders. They're kind of like with LSU. How would you compare Lubbock to the Greenbrier?
Well, I thought it was good for us. I mean, the Greenbrier was a different venue. It was more of a neutral site, and this was a true road game for us. I thought in both games, we built good leads. Guys worked hard and gave us opportunities to build some, a sizable lead. But, this is college basketball. No lead is safe, and I think if you're watching, college now, and, at every level, the NBA level, no lead is safe. Guys are coming back and making runs. They're getting momentum. And so you have to be able to withstand that. And I thought our guys learned from the LSU game, in a game where we couldn't withstand it. We ended up going into triple overtime and losing. And this game, when they made their run, we were able to make the plays necessary to maintain our lead and to win the game.
Johnny, you guys last year, you guys were able to upset Kansas when they came in here. You have the same sort of similar situation coming in this on Sunday. Different 11 new players, but you have Darius and and Jalen back. Is there anything you could take from last year's game that you can maybe use in this situation? And how big of a factor was the crowd last year, and do you expect that to be the case this year?
Well, first, with regards to, last year's team and this year's team, they're totally different. Both of our teams are uniquely different. The good thing is we do have some, senior leadership with Darius and Jalen returning. But they're playing a little different style. We're playing a little different style this year as well. So we really can't take a lot from that season and that game against them. They're a very good basketball team. They have a Hall of Fame coach. They have a unbelievable program, and we need to just go out and execute the things that we do well and understand who we are. And so to do that is our guys need to understand, like when we go into a game like this, that we need to take it just one possession at a time and just play hard on every possession and try to make the plays that are right in front of us.
Coach, in the AAC, you get a top 10 team on your home floor. That's kind of one of those stake the flag moments to try to get you into the tournament in March. How different is it when this is just the next conference game and you're going to have more opportunities like this down the road?
No, it's amazing. We played one league game. We have 19 more. And, be important that our guys stay in that moment, understanding that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Just keep taking it one game at a time, trying to put our best foot forward, each time we step foot on the floor. There's still a lot of room for improvement in our team, and it should be this time of year. We still have room to grow. We're getting to know each other. I see improvement in our guys. Some of our younger players, I see improvement. I think they'll continue to improve as long as we come to practice with the right mindset and we come in to compete when we play our games. And so that's what I want to see, is just continued growth, continued improvement as we move through, game after game.
Coach, obviously last year you were able to pull off the upset. What do you want to replicate this year? What do you want to kind of see? What worked last year? What do you want to see happen this time around on Sunday night?
Again, what we want to do is we want to come out and just play with maximum effort on every possession. And I think that's very important for us. And we make the plays that are right in front of us. I said earlier, it's going to be about executing offensively, executing defensively. And I'm sure they feel the same way. That's how you have to play, and to have any success, you have to do that on both sides of the ball. And so for us, it's just focusing on the things that we have to do, within our system, and I'm sure they're focusing on the things they have to do within their system.
Coach, we've talked a lot about this room over the course of the season, about the return of Jalen and then Mikey's first time on the court. Now that has been put into practice, what have you noticed from the two of them now that they're both on the court?
Well, I think those guys are, starting to get more in rhythm. They're practicing more now. Of course, they've been in some games, and so you start to get your timing back. You start to get in rhythm, and you start to get comfortable with your teammates. You hadn't been with those guys as far as competing, and so there's some continuity that has to be developed. And so I think we're in the process of developing that. I think both guys have done a good job as far as bringing good energy, and they've been great, on our bench. But we want to continue to have those guys progress, and to do that, they need to continue to come into practice like they did today, and come in prepared, to play on Sunday.
Obviously, they have Hunter Dickinson back. You played against him last year. What makes him such a tough guard, and how do you guys try to slow him down and not let him dictate the flow of the game?
Well, Hunter's a terrific player. I've watched him play ever since high school. He's one of the best college players. His numbers, are remarkable if you look at what he's done over his college career. And, those type of players, if you've always heard me say, you have to try to contain them. It's hard to stop a player like that. You want to try to contain him, because, he's proven. He's probably a double-double machine throughout his college career. And so just want to try to contain him, and that's what we're going to try to do. He's a guy that has had a lot of success at this level, and we have a lot of respect for who he is as a player.
Coach, I noticed Mikey was one of the first players off the bench the other day at Texas Tech, one of the primary guards that played. Just kind of what do you foresee his role being? Obviously, that's the first couple games we've really seen him play, but it looks like he was getting out there a lot.
Well, for us, we have to understand our strength is in our numbers and the way we play. And for a guy like Mikey or any of our players that make those contributions, I tell all our guys they all need to always be ready for the opportunity. And that's the best way I can put it, because it may change from one night to another, but you always have to stay ready for your opportunity. And I thought he was ready for his opportunity the other night. And so we want to continue that with not just Mikey, but with all of our players, knowing that our strength is in our depth. And we need to be able to utilize these guys and have confidence that we can put these guys in and they'll make good contributions for us.
Coach, you mentioned improvement in young players. One of those players we've seen grow is Mustafa Chiyam, and he's had an impact every time he's on the court. But it seems like recently he's been struggling with foul trouble and staying on the court. How do you plan to keep growing him in that area?
Well, he has to continue to understand his value to his team, and we talk about that all the time. Your value is, obviously we'll be better with you on the floor with more minutes. So we need you to understand how to play defense and be disciplined when you're guarding guys, where you don't pick up cheap fouls and you don't put yourself in position to pick up bad ones. And that's just something that's going to happen with a younger player. Here's a young man who reclassed up, should be playing a senior in high school right now, and he's up here playing high-level Division I. So, for him, I think every time he goes out there, it's a learning experience. I think that's what you've seen him go through the last few games, and he's going to learn from them. The one thing about him, he wants to be great. He wants to be coached. So I think as we keep pouring into him, as we're doing it with our staff, our assistants have been amazing with him. I think he's going to continue to develop in all facets of the game.
Coach, in this league, how much more formidable are teams coming off a loss, especially one like as highly ranked as Kansas?
Oh, absolutely. These guys are going to come, any team that has lost a game, they're going to be so fired up. They're going to be so focused on what they need to do to be successful the next time they step foot on the floor. We understand that, and we feel the same way. That's how competitors would feel. So we understand that type of mindset, and we need to make sure our guys have the right mindset as well. But of course, a team like Kansas, which has been a perennial top 10 team in the nation, they're going to come in and they're going to be focused and ready to compete.
Coach, the Kansas win last year was obviously certainly a huge highlight of the season last year. Do you see this arena with this fan base and this student body, do you see this place becoming a tough place for opponents to come in? Do you see that growing?
Absolutely. I think we can have as good a fan base and as good an environment as any team in this country. I've been at some of the best programs in the country as far as that's concerned, and I think we have the potential to be there. And I think last year was a snapshot of what was possible, and then we need to continue to build on that. And we've been, our fans have been terrific. Our student section has been terrific, and we need to continue to grow that, the interest in what we do here. And so, absolutely, I'm excited. I was knocked back last year, and I've seen a lot of great environments by how our fans and our supporters came out and our students came out. And like I said, and I'll be quite frank, I don't think we had the success we had last year at home if it wasn't for our crowd. And I just hope that they will continue to come out and bring that type of energy and that type of enthusiasm going forward.
Coach, Coach, Texas Tech had a solid offensive night from their bigs and Toppin and Federico making shots and whatnot. What do you notice with you guys covering big men against Texas Tech that you maybe want to see improve on as you face the rest of the Big 12?
Well, we just have to have a better focus and awareness of what's going on, within people's different schemes, what they do offensively. And that's just part of our growth. I think it's part of growing, it's part of watching film, it's part of, getting on the court and working on things to show these young guys, how they can continue to grow in those areas. But for us, it's more of just watching our guys in certain situations, understanding that there needs to be a certain level of focus that you have to, that's required defensively, on every possession, and we have to make sure that we continue to work towards that.
Johnny, you've talked about in the last couple weeks about improvement on rebounding, try to be a better rebounding team. Do you guys feel like you're getting there as a unit, and that's something just going to continue to grow as you go through the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'm confident that we're going to continue to get better, rebound the ball defensively, because our guys really want to be able to do it. It starts with caring, and these guys care. They want to do it, and usually, if that's the mindset, you're going to continue to improve. And so, watching our guys, take things that we're learning from the game and applying it in practice, I can see improvement from game one to our last game with what we're doing, defensively, and what we're doing rebounding. But it's a process. It isn't going to be perfect overnight. So, like I said earlier, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we got to keep building toward, who we think we can become. And we're moving in that direction.
Coach, Keyshawn Hall's made such a big impact this year. Obviously, his game at Texas Tech, he literally couldn't miss in the first half. Is a big reason why you got out to the lead you did. Just talk about his impact and how he's helped you guys this year.
Well, I've really enjoyed watching. For me as a coach, one of the funnest times is watching young people develop in your system. And here's a new guy, been here all of 5 or 6 months, and so I've been watching him grow in what we do. And I'm sure he's taken in a lot, from our coaches. Like I said, our staff has done a great job with him and having him understand kind of what we want, from him. And he's been great. He's been coachable. He's been wanting to learn more and more. He can't get enough of the sport, whether it's working extra on his own, whether it's watching film. He's a young man who wants to be great, and it shows by, like I said, his work ethic. So as long as he continues to do those things, we're going to continue to pour into him like he's believed in us, and it's been fun to watch his growth. And so I think he's going to continue to even get better from where he is now as he gets more comfortable in our system.
Coach, one of the main struggles you said last year was the team keeping their composure on the road, maybe when momentum wasn't on their side. Did you see a change in that this year with this current team, and how did they hold up to that standard?
Well, I thought we did a good job of staying composed, as you mentioned. I think no better, point is when they were making their run to cut the lead, and they made it a one-possession game. And our guys, they withstood that. They were able to make the plays necessary at that point to hold them off, because Texas Tech in that environment was amazing, and our guys fought through all of that and was able to make the plays necessary. And so there's a maturity about what they do. There's a poise in what they do out there, and they exhibited it, of course, again, the other night. So we have to build on it. I think we can teach, from that game, and we've started teaching from that situation, and I think we can improve on it.
You mentioned players making plays. Veteran point guard Darius Johnson led the team to the free throw line many times when the team couldn't buy a basket. How much of a help was his presence? He
was huge. That's what you want to see, your senior leader, your point guard. No one out there knows what I want more than he does. He's been with me for now his 4th season. And so when you get a point guard that's talented and he's that experienced, he's like a coach on the floor. Having a person that I know, when I'm hearing him speak and say things to the guys, things that I've reiterated to the team for, this my 4th year with him, I'm hearing those things come out. So what you're putting in is meaningful, because you're starting to hear him echoing exactly what may be on your mind or what you're thinking about. And it's like, oh, he'll say it, so I'm excited to see that, and he's taking that information in and he's putting it into the players, from his perspective, in his own words. And I think that's made us better, because they've really, rallied around him as our senior leader, as our point guard, and that's what you want to see happen with his experience.
Coach, you said earlier that no lead is safe in the Big 12, but what do you think this team needs to do defensively in order to hold on to these big leads when you can get them?
Well, I think it's a combination. It's not just your defense. I don't think you can turn the ball over and give guys runouts and layups. I don't think you can, give guys easy opportunities like that as well. So it's a matter of not just defending. It's a matter of making sure you're taking care of the ball offensively and don't give them steals and runouts where they can get easy baskets and get quick points.
Coach, there's a lot of talk about giving players a blanket 5 years of playing eligibility, I guess kind of eliminating the red shirts. Maybe the opting out's been more of a football issue, with guys that'll play 4 games and then decide they don't want to play anymore because they want to preserve a red shirt. But I know John Rothstein earlier today said that there's a lot of momentum. I know you're maybe just learning about it or hearing about it last few weeks, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I am just learning about it. So, I'm not really sure. The main thing for me, I'm an educator. Obviously we coach and we're all competitors or we wouldn't be in this profession. But as an educator, I just want to make sure these young men that spend time in college get their degrees. And so whatever that takes or whatever puts them in the best position so that when they finish college that they have their degree and they can move forward in life, and figure out what they want to do afterwards. And I think we've done a really good job in preparing them. And so my biggest, concern always is, can we help these young men graduate when they're here, get their degree, and help them move forward in whatever profession they choose. And so, so if it's 5 years or 4 years or whatever it takes for them to be successful, then I'm all for it because I'm for those student athletes. I was one of those student athletes. So, and I don't think if I didn't have the opportunities that my coaches provided for me, that I wouldn't be standing in front of you guys right now. So, my thing is I'm very thankful and grateful for what the universities have done for me and what they poured into me. And I'm going to try to do the same thing for every student athlete I get a chance to coach.
Time for 2 more. You good? All good?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Coach.
That's all, Coach.
All right, guys.
See you Sunday.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Take
Coach, I'll
you
take
up.
this one, yeah.